To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. I'm Sean Whittington. I'm your host. I'm a seminarian in the United States Old Catholic Church. This is the Paranormal Ministry, and I'm coming to you live from my haunted home, my very haunted home. Been quiet today, and I think it's because they don't want to mess around with my guests who are from the most haunted land down under, Hauntstralia. You're going to love them, and I know that's why you all tuned in. They're in the green room. I'll bring them right out. Let's first check on the prayer urn. Barbara B. from Nebraska. Hi, Barbara. I'm non-denomination. I do believe in God and Jesus and would like a closer relationship with God in 2023. Advice. Well, Barbara, I am very pleasantly pleased to inform you that you're not non-denomination. If you believe in God and Jesus, then you're Christian. Okay, so that's the good news. More good news is that I'm a big believer. You know, I was just talking to my guest about this in the green room before the show. I'm a big believer in the power of prayer. Trust me, there is power in prayer. The more you pray, the closer you get to God and the closer you bring God to you. So, having said that, if you don't know any prayers, just make the sign of the cross and talk to God as though He's standing right there in front of you. And trust me, He is. And talk to Him in your own words. But I would highly recommend that you learn some prayers if you don't already know some. And just right off the top of my head, uh, 5 that I say every morning, every night would be the Our Father, the Hail Mary, the Glory Be, the Phantom prayer, and the St. Michael prayer, short version in English. And a matter of fact, you know what you should get if you don't know any prayers? And you know, Barbara, I talk to people every day that don't know any prayers. They want to pray. They don't know how to pray, or they don't even know any prayers. Get yourself a nice little Catholic book of prayers. They're very inexpensive, and you'll find all of those prayers in there. But start praying more. And you didn't ask for this, but I'm going to offer up a prayer for you, Barbara, and for everyone else that's watching the show that may be feeling exactly like you feel, okay? I offer this prayer up for Barbara and all within the sound of my voice that are in need of these words. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Lord, I do not know what to ask you. You alone know my real needs, and you love me more than I even know how to love. Enable me to discern my true needs, which are hidden from me. I ask for neither a cross nor a consolation, but simply wait in patience for you. My heart is open to you. For your great mercy's sake, come to me and help me. Put your mark on me and heal me. Cast me down and raise me up. I silently adore your holy will and your inscrutable ways. I offer myself in sacrifice to you and put all my trust in you. I desire only to do your will. Teach me how to pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Barbara, continue to reach out to me from time to time and let me know how your year is going and how your relationship with God is developing. And I will continue to pray for you. All right, Paranormal Ministry mailbag. Richard K. from Mississippi. Mississippi. Have I ever gotten a request from Mississippi before? I don't remember. Well, this is cool. I may be gifted, not sure. I see spirit all the time. How can I control that? And how can I keep the bad spirits away? Wow, that is a great question, Richard. Um, this is the best advice I can give you. It's hard if you are truly gifted. It's hard to just shut that off. So I would recommend that you reach out to somebody far more gifted than me and ask for their advice on how to learn how to sharpen and harness your gift, because with that will come the ability to better shut it off and shut it down when you don't want that open sign, open for business sign to the spirit world blinking all the time. A good person to reach out to, try the medium Susan Ahern, who's on my show the last Monday of every month. She's my co-host for Happy Medium Mondays, and she would be, I know her, she would be more than willing to help you, and if she can't, direct you to somebody who can help you with that. And let me say one more thing to you. Obviously, you are able to discern the difference between the good spirits and the bad spirits, or you wouldn't have mentioned how to keep the bad spirits away. So I don't know what religious belief system you have in place or not. Regardless, try this the next time they come around. You make the sign of the cross and you say this to the bad spirit: I rebuke your presence and I command you in the name of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to go directly to the foot of the cross for Jesus to deal with you. I wish you the best of luck. I will pray for you, Richard, and keep me posted, and let me know if you reach out to Susan and what she said, or if you have another um, truly gifted psychic medium that you know of that you can reach out to for help. That's who you need to speak to. Someone far more gifted psychically than I am. Okay. Anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. If you go there to visit, keep in mind my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So I know times are tough. Believe me, I do. But if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. I'm also a certified spiritual advisor. So if you're having some issues of a spiritual nature, not necessarily attached to the paranormal, and you'd like to make an appointment to speak with me about those issues, there's a place on the website to do that. But don't leave the website without navigating over to the page called the WSE course/book. On that page, you'll see the Ghost Store. Lots of cool things to buy on there if you go for that sort of stuff. And everything you buy, part of the proceeds go to many things that I donate to. But scroll down a little bit on that page, you'll run into my new haunted autobiography, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. And I quote, scariest book I ever published. That was Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books, my publisher. But don't let that scare you off of purchasing a copy. If you haven't done your good deed for the day yet, part of the proceeds of every copy of my book that is sold goes to support stjude.org, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada, and the ASPCA. So, how cool is that? You get to help some of the neediest children on the planet and the animals too. There is a place where you can buy the book on the website. If it comes from the website, it leaves my office. So I sign it and I enclose it in a beautiful house blessing kit. Or you can get it a little less expensive on Amazon. One more thing I want to throw out real quick. If you get the book and you have had this happen to you, I want to hear from you. I don't know how well you guys can see this. That bottom picture, that is an entity that I captured on film at a abandoned location out in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Since I put that picture in this book and published the book, it hasn't happened so much off of Amazon, but some of the people that have purchased the book from me that have left my office have reported seeing that apparition in their home after receiving the book. And I've been told some pretty interesting stories about that, and that blows my mind. If you are one of those people out there that have purchased this book and you have had paranormal issues happen after the book has arrived in your home, I want to hear your story. Your story may end up in, you never know, where I may be able to take your story to. So I'd like to hear from you, okay? And it's a great time to buy the first book. There are stories in there that I left open ended because I wasn't able to bring closure to them yet, and they were ongoing. And God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry 2, Chronicles of an American Exorcist, comes out very soon. And I bring closure to a lot of those cases in that second book. So it's a great time to get the first one, get all caught up before you rush right out and get the second book. Scroll a little bit further down on that page, you'll see the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, which I'm a founding member. I offer a 12-week online college-level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare, through the WSE. And this is the course for all you true warriors for Christ out there that feel a calling and a longing to want to have more knowledge when it comes to drawing your line in the sand, making a stand, circling the wagons, and putting up a good fight against, God forbid, true evil if it ever comes calling. This is the course for you. No, I'm not going to teach you how to be an exorcist. That's a completely different type of calling. But this course is unlike any other course like it. And it's spiritual warfare through my eyes and my experiences over the years. You can enroll in the course there on the website. If you'd like more information about it before making that type of commitment, there is a Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page, and you can read more about the course, or just reach out to me and I can talk to you, see if the course is right for you. Most importantly, please keep all of my former, current, and future students in your prayers. And all my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion, suited for framing, along with some other very special blessed gifts that you can only get from yours truly. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And all of you that want to enroll in it this year, best of luck. And thank you for that. And thank you for everyone that signed up for the fall class. Okay, the reason why you all tuned in. I haven't been down to the most haunted land down under, Hauntstralia, in a long time. These two, I love these two. They're so cool. They're such genuine souls, very passionate about the paranormal, and you guys are going to love them. Without further ado, please welcome to the show Jason and Julia King.
G'day.
Let me just throw this out there now. It's been a while since I've tried to have a live stream from Australia. So you never know. It's a roll of the dice how the signal's going to go. So far, it seems to be you guys both look. Julia, you look very pretty. Jason, you
Thank
look
you.
like somebody I wouldn't want to mess with out on the outback. So
I'm a gentle boy.
So welcome to the show. Even if you guys hadn't had me on your show, Jason Ghosthunter on YouTube, I would have eventually got around to you and had you on the show. So my only rule is I want you two to have fun, so you'll want to come back. And I was thinking about you guys. I think it was probably before I went to bed on Friday. I thought about you guys because here on the TV, you guys were already celebrating New Year's there in Sydney, 19 hours before me. So if I'm correct, if my calculation is correct, it's lunchtime there tomorrow, Tuesday.
Yes.
Yes.
We're from the future.
Yeah, we're in the future.
I know what I'm going to ask you guys. So we'll get to the paranormal stuff, but I have to ask you this. How is it? Are you both born and raised in Australia?
Yes. I was born in Sydney. I still live in Sydney. Jason was born in South Australia, but over when he was a child, he moved to New South Wales and still here. So.
How does it feel to live in a land where everything can kill you?
You kind of get used to it. You get used to it. I mean, I don't think about other than, of course, when you're bushwalking and things, you got to think of snakes this time of the year. But yeah, other than that, we don't think about it. I mean, the beaches, you've got risks everywhere in every country. We don't live in North Queensland or the north of Australia, so we don't have to worry about crocodiles where we are. And spiders, well, I'm not a fan of them. Get your house sprayed like everybody else and you'll be fine. They'll stay outside.
And if they do come inside, she comes and gets me and I've got to go and catch it and get it outside.
Well, we don't think about it too much.
I know I told you guys this story about I believe it was the last guest I had on the show from Australia. And right in the middle of the interview, it sounded like somebody was kicking in her back door. And she didn't seem to be alarmed by it at all. And the interview went on and this banging and banging. Finally, I interrupted her and said, listen, I hate to ask, but is somebody locked out? Do you need to let somebody in, the dog or one of your kids or your husband or somebody? She goes, I'll show you who's doing the banging. She grabbed the camera and panned it over to her back door. And there was a family of kangaroo out there on her back porch. She said, yeah, my husband made the mistake one time of putting food out for them. And ever since that day, and it's been months now, every morning at the same time, this family of roo come by and they bang on the back door for breakfast. I was just like, I don't like mice. So here I am, I'm staring at these essentially mice that are bigger than me on steroids. She says, yeah, they'll kill every morning at this time, I got to bring my dogs in or they'll kill my dogs. That's frightening. Have you had any run-ins like that with anything? I'll tell you what really scares me about Australia is, and I don't know the name of this bird. It's it looks like an ostrich, but far more prehistoric, and it's deadly. And they say that
the cassowary.
Oh my gosh! Now,
yeah,
those are very scary. Like I said, everything out there can kill you. Have you guys had any run-ins like that at all that you can share?
Not with a cassowary.
Not a cassowary. At work where I work, I get the kangaroos, wild deers, snakes, spiders. But this is a normal day for me when I'm driving around. I go, oh, there's a kangaroo. Or I might be out of the bus because I'm a bus driver too. I'll get out of the bus and I'll go and do something. Next minute, I've got a 6-foot kangaroo staring at me, big muscly thing. And I go, I'll tell you, just keep walking.
Oh my gosh, incredible. Well, your country is on the top of the to-do list to be one of the places before this journey of mine is over and I go on to heaven. One of the places I need to visit. So if I'm able to get out there, I know the wife and I are planning a trip to Ireland, Scotland, and England for our 25th wedding anniversary in 5 years. But if we ever make it out to Australia, you can plan on me banging on your door.
Anytime.
Anytime, you'd be more than welcome. We'll show you around and you wouldn't have to worry about safety, honestly. Kangaroos are more of a nuisance when you're driving at night because they can jump out from anywhere and you can accidentally hit them with your car. And it's more of you don't want to damage your car because they can make a bit of damage. But other than that, I mean, they're in the bush. If they see you, they'll pretty much hop away unless you go to the zoos.
Yeah. So. And if you do come to Australia, we will take you to a zoo. So you go up and pat them, pat them all over, play with the emus, you know what I mean? Like you get to, have that interactive with them. So you'll be able to feed them and do everything.
I know my dog doesn't have a clue what I'm saying to her, but I have all these cats that live outside my yard. My wife feeds them, gives them fresh water, and we have carriers put around the yard for them to have a place to sleep in. But my dog hates it. So she sits right by the doggy door because she can see out it and waiting for one of them to get close enough that she can jump out and pounce on. And I joke with her and always say, you're lucky they're not kangaroo, or you would, it wouldn't end well for you.
That's for sure.
Okay, guys, let's talk some paranormal.
Yep.
Jason Ghost Hunter Show. I know for a fact you have a Facebook page, Jason Ghost Hunter. You also have a YouTube channel, Jason Ghost Hunter. I've been on the show. I've seen the show. You just recently had an episode the other day. Tell everybody about how that show came to be, where they can catch it, and when they can catch it.
Well, we try and do a video once a week for the ghost hunting side of it. Try to see what we can capture. Our last video, we went to a place where we've had some weird experience happening. And as we're filming, really halfway at the end, you'll see something on the bottom of the screen comes out. And as it's coming out, it's moving and it shoots back. And I slow it down for people to see it. And just recently, one of our friends contacted us and told us a story about the place. So it might make a lot of sense of the situation, what was down there. But we do live shows, talking to people like yourself and other people, and do live chats. So, we like to help and when we can.
Absolutely. I want to ask you guys something else, and maybe I'm totally off base here. Like if you talk to people from the UK, like English people that are into ghost hunting, they'll tell you that it's true that English ghosts are very very English in terms of you do hear the rattling of the chains and the moaning, and you see a lot of headless ghosts. Then you go up to Scotland and you talk to some Scottish ghost hunters, and they'll tell you that a lot of tortured souls, a lot of poltergeist activity where the apparitions are just you can't make sense of them, like the one castle that's famous for the masturbating pink gorilla that runs around the castle. Go figure. A lot of dungeons, you find a lot of troubled soul spirits down in the dungeons. Of course, in Ireland, I talk to ghost hunters out there that say it's just very mystical type haunt, a lot of elemental encounters and elemental hauntings. Now, in Australia, clearly, this is my impression. Clearly, there are a lot of very violent haunts out there. You've got, like out here, I've been blessed to be invited out to a couple of reservations and help their holy people with some cases that they didn't seem to be able to take care of themselves. And it was a big honor. I don't know if you guys have ever had the opportunity to work with any of the mobs out there, the Aboriginal people, but there's a lot of violent haunts out there where these are just disembodied human spirits that lash out at people as if they were malevolent or even poltergeist in nature. What's your guys' take on why so many violent haunts reported from Australia?
I think it's to do with our history, because when you look at when Australia started, it was a pretty traumatic time. I mean, the Indigenous people, a lot of them, they can tell you stories of carnage and when the white people came and they fought over the land. And then, of course, you had the convicts that were brought over. I mean, a lot of them were sentenced to death over in England, and they were given a reprieve, which was sent to a country where it hadn't been developed. So there was no running water, there was no anything, just the harsh land. And basically, the fittest survived out there because it was a kill or be killed situation. If the hard labour didn't kill you, well, another prisoner nastier than you might. You know what I mean? And from what I hear in the history, what I read in it, the guards and the English police officers, if you like, the soldiers, they were pretty brutal as well to the convicts. So I guess there's a lot of dissatisfied souls that roam the earth that didn't feel like they got their closure or their just desserts. They felt that things were pretty unfair for them, which has carried that grief over into the afterlife. So you have a lot of lost souls. I think that's just my opinion. When you go to a lot of historic places, you're likely to tap into a convict from the past, and you can tell when, like, a lot of people don't believe in spirit boxes and things, but when we use them, you can hear different accents come through. You can hear Irish accents. You can hear them talk in a lingo that would be more suited to their time. And I found it very interesting, the things that came through. And a lot of them still feel that they're working, or they don't realize that they've actually passed on. You know, they still feel like they're trapped.
In my humble opinion, of course, if somebody, I do a lot of residential cases. So if somebody reaches out to me and talks to me about having something in their home, regardless of what it is, I try to help. I don't do much ghost. There was a time where I did a lot of ghost hunting, but not so much anymore. But I always, even then, I tried to avoid like the insane asylums and the prisons and places like that, because I have found that, like, I'll go into a home, and if it's Aunt B or Uncle Tom or a previous resident of the home kind of lingering around because they had some unfinished business and they had so much of a hold on life when they pass that they're not ready to cross yet. They know that the time that they will eventually have to cross, they see the light. Some of their loved ones have come and tried to wave them over, but they still try to avoid it because they feel there's some unfinished business. But these really malevolent behaving, disembodied human spirits, their unfinished business,
Mm.
they won't leave until their unfinished business is taken care of. And of course, you can't go back to when the deed was done, when they were either sentenced to. Did they at one time have executions out there?
They
Yes, they did.
did. They used to have.
You go back to that, and they're upset about that. They're upset
Mm.
about being imprisoned. They're upset about anything else that may have happened to them that was violent, that resulted in their death. Have you guys ran into much of that?
No.
We haven't gone to many prisons. We've gone to one.
Yeah.
I think because of the obvious, you're going to have, disagreeable souls out there. They've been hung. But even in the country towns, gibbeting was still very common, to warn off other known criminals, or, it was a known thing to gibbet the prisoners there. So, you've got the country area, especially, the trees once hung someone for a period of time until times changed and they got them to cut down and give them a decent Christian burial. But, like with hauntings, a lot of the time it's a residual thing. So if something traumatic has happened in an area, you're going to have a stamp imprint on that ground. It's almost like toxic soil afterwards. You know what I mean? Where negativity breeds more negativity. And there's certain areas that I think is a no-go zone, especially if there's been a terrible murder that's happened. I don't see any sort of fascination and seeing what's down there, because you know what's down there. It's not going to be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see a lot of ghost hunters, ghostbusters in Australia that I respect, and I think they're on top of their game like you two are. They do a lot of cemeteries.
Mm.
I want to. This is a two-part question. I know you have been to your fair share of cemeteries. What is the paranormal community like down there? I'll have you guys give me the Jason Ghost Hunter State of the Paranormal Union address in Australia. Tell us what that community's like, because I know, Julia, you had some issues with one of your cases at a cemetery where some people lashed out at you a little bit for that. So, what is the state of the paranormal community there in Australia, in your opinion, and how do people as a whole outside of that community accept or not people such as yourselves that are really passionate about investigating the paranormal?
Oh, I don't think Australia's as open to spiritual, the paranormal world as, say, the USA or the UK. Um, a lot of our abandoned places are condemned. It can be a hefty fine if you're seen trespassing. And I think a lot of the reasons why paranormal teams such as ourselves, when we're running a YouTube channel, do cemeteries, it's more for the location purposes, because a lot of haunted buildings aren't readily available or they're council owned and they don't allow paranormal investigators in. Like I said, they either don't believe in it or then they're not as of approving of what we do. I mean, a lot of people like ourselves will do more private homes, but then we're not going to put them on YouTube because that's confidential cases and we treat each and every one with respect. And people are sort of, they're not open to asking for help unless they've heard you on radio like we've been or on something. They go, oh, actually, I do have something that's been bothering us for years. Could you help us? But they're not open to asking for it. It's not a thing, that you feel comfortable about telling people and say, oh, I've got something in my home and I don't know what it is, in the fear that they might be crazy or in the fear that, I don't know, that people won't believe them. Pretty much like UFOs type sightings or Bigfoot that we have down here. Paranormal is pretty much regarded in the same way. So unless you're dedicated and you can take the knockers where you just go, okay, well, we've seen enough to believe there's something out there, then, yeah, people don't tend to regard you into higher ground, if you know what I mean. So.
Yeah, here in the States, we are in my humble opinion, we're just swamped with way too many paranormal shows, TV shows. If there were just a few really good ones, I think it would be a lot better for our field than just to have just so many. So many of them are the same, or they're just not very good, and people get a little soured that aren't in our community get a little soured towards the paranormal community. I occasionally will see a show pop up from the UK, but um, I can't remember. It's been many years since I've seen a show out of Australia. Do you guys have paranormal shows out there? And if so, what do you think of them and do you like them?
I think Alan Tiller was the last one that we had that came famous down here, and that was Haunted Australia, and that was back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
That was the last show that we watched that came from Australia.
Wow.
It's not many down here.
We have a question from Anthony Lewis for you. When demons hide itself as child spirit, how can you tell different between child spirit and demon dress up as a child? I'm going to throw that at you guys, and then I have a follow-up question to that for you, Julia, because I'm going to try my best not to embarrass you or put you on the spot. And if I ever ask you either one of you anything that you don't want to talk about, you just say, Sean, I'd rather move on off that topic, and you know me, I will. But something happened before the show today. Somebody reached out to me for help, and it's very similar to a situation that you just went through, and we talked about it a little bit before the show started. I'll ask you that on the tail end of this, but do you guys have any feelings about that question?
Look, I'm suspicious about any child ghost because my personal belief, children are made of the light and they tend to go straight to God. So I do know people believe in children ghosts and they do exist, but whenever a ghost or some spirit entity comes towards and says, I'm just an innocent little child, straight away my suspicions up, especially if it'll say things like, will you be my friend or can I come with you? Those kind of things. Straight away I'm like paranoid, thinking, this could be something, a wolf disguised in sheep's clothing here. But in saying that, I tend to treat all spirits in the same way. We say a prayer before we start. We ask for Archangel Michael and Jesus to watch over us, that things don't attach to our equipment or ourselves. And then we also do a prayer when we finish, thanking the angels and Jesus for looking after us, keeping us safe, because we do tend to take it seriously. And we were recently in an area where there was children buried, and we did have some devices lit up. Now, I can't tell you for sure or not whether it was a child. It seemed childlike, if you like, but I tend to treat them all with a little bit of suspicion, because you never really know what you're talking to.
Well said, well said. And my 2 cents on that would be, I usually, they can only trick you for so long before they have to show you,
Yes.
their true nature. And but yeah, it's a red flag. Always throws a red flag up to me when I am encountering what I think to be, or what's presenting this up to me as a human spirit. Anthony's got a backup one here. Jason and Julia, was there one case you on that you never forgot about? One case that you went on that you guys have never forgot about, like the Jason Ghost Hunter, Julia and Jason King case that really put you guys on the map.
I think there was one. I obviously can't say names now because it's all confidential. But this person was, her face was changing and she was talking in Latin and things like that. So we were pretty freaked out. Well, not freaked out, but we were pretty prepared for the worst when we came in to that home. We also had a couple of people that were demonologists here in Australia help us and come on FaceTime. So we had their support as well, and they also gave us tips what to do, because we don't call ourselves professionals in anything, just basically God's servants. And when we got there, like we, sussed out the situation a bit. She was the person that we were investigating a house was acting like she was possessed from something, but it turned out a sadder story where she was actually possessed by a lower entity that she knew that revenge on her when that person died, and that person did come back and get revenge. So that was probably a case that kind of threw us a little bit, because, you go to places and we think, we get told that there's something going on, and probably 7 out of 10 times it's not evil, if you would like to say, It's just that the people are so frightened, they're glad to see it go, and once you bless the house, they tend to move on. But this one was probably the one that was evil, but we had to work out, was it really demonic, or was it what's going on here? So it threw us a little bit. It was a bit of a sad story, but it worked out well in the end. That's all I can say.
Good for you. I mean, out here we have clergy that won't help with cases, paranormal cases, and I get it and I understand. So that can be tough for anybody to find paranormal clergy to help them with a malevolent type haunt. Is it like that out there too, or do you have to pretty much reach out to like independent demonologists?
Yeah, sorry, it was the delay. I didn't mean to, buddy.
That's okay.
Yeah, look, a lot of they think anything paranormal is bad for you, so they tend to think what we do even isn't a good thing. And but then you've got the ones that are believers. They kind of get you to do the dirty work first. They want you to prove to them that it's a decent case, and have the evidence backed up. And I'm not talking about one visit, I'm talking about several over a period of months, and before they'll step in, So the teams that we know that are that work in that area, demonologists, because we just do house blessings and we investigate for them. But if we think it's something more sinister, we'll call on their help, because they do it all the time.
Yeah.
They've told us stories that, they're always risking themselves when they go into places like that. And there's been cases where there's been true possessions, and it's been over years, not months, of getting that person healed. And the church has basically stepped in a couple of years later.
Wow.
Before they'll act, that they're convinced that there's a true thing going on.
Well, we have another question for you from Linda Judd. Hi, Linda. Having a conversation with a ghost is a delicate matter. Have you had a memorable conversation with a ghost? That's a good
I
one.
have my brother. Yeah, that'd have to be my brother who's passed on. He's the most cheekiest guy I think I could ever know. My wife knows too now. He's around me all the time. He's guiding me through the industry, what I do for so long. And he gives me a lot of heads up. What's here? We might be on site somewhere, and if there's something negative or something really is in the area, he would go, "Hey, bro, heads up, it's coming this way," or he'll say something smart to me to let me know if it's safe or non-safe, or gives me a lot of eyesight on the other side to where he gives me that information. So, yeah, it would have to be my brother that really, for ghost side of it, he's really the one that gives me the runaround and gives me more headaches than you can imagine.
That's wonderful. And it's you guys must have had quite the bond in life, and
Yeah.
that carries on. And he's waiting for you, man.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
he's got plans for you when you get up there. And
Hopefully it's all good. There's a lot of holding something in my hand, you know what I mean? That's what I owe him, you know what I mean? Like, we've got to have a good time of talking face to face that way.
well, here comes I have to bring this up. I'll tell you why, Julia, and you'll totally get this. Not only did we have a question here, somebody feeling gifted and not knowing what to do about it, somebody wanting to pray but not knowing how. And I was just reached out to today by somebody, and I get this all the time. People who are having issues with their children, and it's a touchy subject because, like, you don't have to. I get on people all the time for saying it's okay if you don't believe in God, but be careful what you say and throw out into the cosmos. And for an example, if you hear someone say, "I'd rather rule in hell than serve in heaven," don't say that. Don't throw that
Yeah.
out into the cosmos, because you don't know what's listening and what's going to take that as an invitation to say, "Okay, fine, here you go." Um, Many children, no fault of their own, get attachments. They didn't do anything. They didn't do seances. They're not Ghostbusters. They're not devil worshippers, but they're easy targets, especially if they don't have a religious belief system in place. So it's no fault of their own, but they get an attachment. Then the parents don't know what to do. And I just had someone reach out to me with a case like that. And you too, after we had first met, you had some issues with your daughter. So if this person happens to be watching the show, and they could be, um, what advice do you have for parents who feel that perhaps their child may have an attachment?
Okay. Well, with the experience I had, my child wasn't open to suggestion there might be something around her. Um, so what I did, I prayed for her in her absence. I also cleansed. I put cleansing in her room. I blessed it, if you like. I also had my friends say prayers for her And the one thing I do know, like I said, I'm not a professional like yourself. But the one thing I do know about negative energy, they feed on fear and starve on faith. So whatever it is that they believe in, their higher, um, force, God, creator, if they say enough prayers and have faith that they're going to get heard and their children will be saved, they will be guided in a way that will happen. You just have to keep believing, because the one thing that they always prey on is your fear. Your fear is what will block you. And it's only a normal thing as a parent to be afraid for your children or afraid for somebody. So once you start feeling helpless, they've got you. So you have to be strong and you have to believe that, God's going to pave the way. Like I said, I was led to you and I was led to other people that I knew that dealt with these kind of entities that I could ask for help. And together as a union, we all prayed for that, my child, and she's a lot better now.
God bless. I'm so happy to hear that. That made my night. And I feel bad for some of these parents that call me, because you can't cram religion down a child's throat. If they're not receptive to that, even though they may have other issues going on, all you can do is the best you can do, which is pray for them. And eventually, with God's help, they will come around. But it can be a tough situation. Anthony's back. Hi, Anthony. Question: Is there a case that you would not mind going back to revisit? A lot of cases I work, I don't. I'm hoping this situation is. I brought
Okay.
closure to it. What was
Lined up.
tormenting this family has moved on, and I don't want to have to go back and
Lined
help
up.
this family again. So, what do you say? Is there any one of those cases that
I
you
wouldn't
would,
go back to.
Oh no, that you would go back to.
Oh,
or not
I never,
mind going back to, or and if you want to throw in one that you wouldn't, that'd be fine too.
look, I never say no to people. If they want genuine help, we're there for them.
Mm-hmm.
We've got many different stories. I mean, I think the one that was the most heartfelt was we had a whole family sleeping downstairs, too scared to go upstairs in their house. So were terrified of what was up there. So you can imagine, a family of 4 children all sleeping in the lounge room downstairs because I was scared. And it turned out to be quite innocent, actually. The spirit was actually just a lost soul and could be moved over quite quickly. So, to see them crying tears of relief afterwards and looking around the house, and it's hard to describe, but when you've blessed a house and you know God's light's in there, it smells different, it looks different, it feels different. And that was the first thing the wife noticed. She goes, I've never smelled lemons before in my bathroom. Now I can smell my lemons, and the kids were playing in their room and they're like, we're not scared to go to bed now. And it's just such a good feeling, So, of course, yes, I do it 10 times over to have that relief for them, because no one should be afraid in their own home.
Absolutely. Any cases you wouldn't revisit?
Wouldn't we visit? Oh, not many places I wouldn't.
No, not really.
We might get spooked the first time, like we might go to a site, we might get spooked a little bit, but then we quickly pull ourselves together. Like we're human, we jump out of our skin, and then we have to quickly jump back in our skin and go, well, that was fun. My heart's just come back to normal. And then we've got to quickly program our minds to
I'm guilty of it too. That's happened to me.
What happened? Why did it happen? And then we start thinking and then backtrack ourselves to be able to walk back into it. So, like, some days we'll get that feeling where we got all eyes on us, and we know when we get out of that car, we can feel it. It's already there. It's waiting for me. But then, lucky, my brother, he's up a van. He goes, I'll let you know you're going to get surrounded and stuff like that. So I'm already preparing for the worst. But there's not a case I would not go back to, because they're always different. Like, you can't say one spirit's the same as everyone else, because they're not. They've all got their own way of presenting themselves, making you feel, and what they do is always different. So You know, I'll go to anywhere, anytime. Even if I jump out of my skin the first time, I'm going back for a second hit. It's like being on a roller coaster. You know, you're going up and down.
Linda's back. Hi, Linda. That's great, Jason, to have your brother's backup. I agree, Linda. That's great to have your brother's backup from the other side to clue you in on what's going on. Yeah, I love that story. That's very, very cool.
It can be a pain in the backside sometimes. You know, like I'll be going, okay, I'm going to go. Oh, Julia might plan something for me to go somewhere haunted, and Julia goes, you won't know where we're going. Next minute, I'll start describing where we're going. She'll go, tell your brother to zip it. But lately, he's been a good boy. He's been able to plan things for me, and he hasn't said nothing. Normally, he used to do a lot of talking, but now he goes, I'm not telling you a word now. So I go, come on. He goes, no, it's Julia's got that surprise for you. I'm not blowing it this time because he used to do that all the time with Julia.
Well, how did you guys get it? Is this a lifelong passion for the two of you? Like, first of all, I love the fact that you're a couple. Um, I've lost track of how many cases I've worked with my wife, and if it wasn't for my wife, we would have never started Ghost Be Gone and done the things that we did. We used to have. There was a couple of times where we had bigger teams, but now after, you know, all of this time, we realize that we're just better. I'm better by myself when I go to certain cases, and we're better together as a team when we go on cases, and I don't have to worry about what may happen to uh, other investigators on my team that I don't need to worry about that. I want to focus on the business at hand. So how did you two, is it, like I said, is this a lifelong passion for the two of you, or did
Yeah, it is
this come
now.
about just a few years ago?
Actually, we met online only 7, 8 years ago. And before that, I was active in the spiritualist churches here. And I used to go ghost hunting, if you like. And then Jason, his experience was he was always fascinated in the other side, but didn't really have much dealings with it until his brother passed away. And he first saw his brother and he thought he was going nuts. And his brother said, we've got work to do. And he didn't know what he was talking about. But then he had the gift where he could see and communicate with the other side. And in that time, his life's been a roller coaster of events. And we met and we decided to do it together. You know, we both like to help people. We come from different kinds of backgrounds. I've been psychic all my life. But I was Catholic growing up, so I always fought it a lot, thinking what I was doing was bad. So now, and I used to pray, look, God, if you think it's bad what I'm doing, take it away. Absolutely. And he never took it away. So I thought, well, he must want me to have it for some reason. And so now we use it to help others. So
I have a great deal of respect for truly gifted, psychically gifted people. I enjoy, if I truly believe someone is truly gifted and able to come work a case with me, they're invaluable. It's like another piece of equipment. I enjoy it. Many teams won't investigate with a psychic. I think they're doing themselves a great disservice. I really enjoy it. My wife is sensitive. I've got a bit of it. I think that to work with a truly gifted psychic is, if you can get one on your team, I'm all for it. I think it's almost, in my humble opinion, necessary. Linda says, "Hooray! God supported you. He didn't take it away." That's another great story. I love that. Anthony's back. What do you feel is best? What do you feel is best Ghostbusters tool in ghost hunting? That's a great question. And we're almost out of time. We may have to end on this one. Your best, tell you what, it's a two-parter. Your must-have piece of equipment, and one that if you ever see one again, you're going to toss it in the trash.
Lampard, cat balls.
I'd probably say the cat ball for me. Yeah. This seems to be the most popular thing that they like to touch. REM pods, if they're in the mood, they will. Same with K2 meter. And you can only assume what's coming through the ghost box is real. So cat ball would probably be my favourite.
They're about the same. And the WEM pods, like some days they'll hit them, and you're thinking, okay, well, you can let go of it now, and they hang on. The last couple of cases, they killed my battery in one of my WEM pods because they hit it that hard. They wouldn't stop playing until it was dead. So yeah, the cat balls, and I like the necrophonic, but you got to really work on that. So yeah, the cat balls, yeah.
And a camera.
Yeah,
you
and
don't
camera.
have to have lots of fancy gadgets. I mean, when we started, all we had was an old camera, and we walked around, and you'd be surprised what comes up on film that you don't see with your naked eye.
Absolutely.
So your sensors and the cameras are the best tools ever.
Yep.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Guys, I love you both. I respect you both. I'm so honored to have you guys take an hour out of your busy Tuesday lunch hour to come and hang out with me. Did you guys have fun? Will you come back?
Oh, we had a
100%.
ball. Thank you so
100%.
much
Great
for
fun.
asking, and thank you to everyone that's been listening.
Absolutely. You guys have the happiest of New Year's. I will pray that all your wishes and dreams come true for the two of you this year. And God bless you both. Have a great evening, and I'll be in touch.
God bless.
Thank you very
so
much.
See you guys later. Bye-bye. Australia. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I was back there other than the girl that I spoke to, the ghost hunter that I spoke to. Wonderful show tonight, Rev. Thank you, Linda. And nice meeting Jason and Julie from Australia. Yeah, they're great. I knew you all would love them. And they'll be back, I promise. Sometime this summer. Because I'm already booked to the end of July. April, I think I'm already booked out till. So I will get them back this summer for sure. A couple of big announcements for the upcoming year. 2 new series. I'll be here this coming Friday with the first new series. The first Friday of every month for the rest of this year will be Ira Wolfnesson. She's an angelologist and a demonologist, classical, who will come here the first Friday of every month and begin a series of monthly lectures on angels and demons. And that starts this coming Friday, the 6th. The second Monday of every month, beginning next month in February, the one and only Dr. Joy Pugh will begin a series of monthly lectures on you name it. Everything's in her wheelhouse. She's a minister, an author. I love her too. She's just great. You guys are going to love her. And I'm calling that the Joy to the World series. Dr. Pugh gets her preach on once a month starting next month, second Monday of every month. Of course, Susan Ahern is back for Happy Medium Mondays, the last Monday of every month starting this month, and we'll continue on as long as I can keep her coming back every month for this year. So, what else do I want to tell you guys? Thank you all for being here. I don't have a show without each and every one of you tuning in. I want to thank my co-producers, Zach and Adrian Clayton. I couldn't do the show without them. CommunityPayItForward.us. CommunityPayItForward.us. Go there. Find somebody that needs some help, and if you can help them, help them. My church, the USOCC.org. Go there if you're interested in my church. Go to BishopJamesLong.com if you'd like to attend night prayer, which is Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. The link is there. Or if you want to attend Bible study on Wednesday afternoons and Sunday afternoons at 5 p.m. Pacific, the link to that is there also. I want to thank Things Network. I want to thank Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. I want to thank Skeleton Key Network. I want to thank PACT, little p, capital ACT, podcasting, all coming together channel for all of these networks, simulcasting my show. God bless you all for that. And I truly do also pray and wish each and every one of you the happiest of New Year's, and may all your dreams and wishes come true. And it is bad joke time. I'm going to pull a bad joke that one of you sent in out of this haunted Carnival Barker hat. And it's my poor attempt to try and put a smile on everybody's face before I say goodnight. What is the number one cause of divorce? Marriage. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all. Peace.